now we come to the most exciting part of the evening, our panel discussion about the challenges and opportunities of digital relocation to Germany. And for that, I would like to welcome on stage Alexander, Burkhard, Lisa, and Andreas. No order. Yeah, so thanks for coming. Great to have you all here. So maybe to get started, it would be great if you could just briefly introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your backgrounds.
Who should start?
You.
The one who's asking.
Yeah.
So my name is Burkhard. Perhaps I'm a little bit an outsider because I'm not from a private institution, but more or less from a public institution. Berlin Partner is the business development agency of the land of Berlin. And I'm doing it now already for 20 years, something like that. And the most important question for Berlin is the access to talent. And so we set up one specific service, which is the business immigration service. It has a lot of people to come to Berlin. And there are a lot of obstacles to relocate talent to Berlin, and we are trying to make it as easy as possible, but I think that is part of our discussion where we can see whether it's really easy or where are the obstacles and how to overcome them.
So my name is Alex. We are also helping people to reduce hurdles when coming to Germany when they are still abroad. So we help them in the visa process of getting products they need for the visa, which is a blocked account, where they need to deposit money, health insurances, but we also help them to have a smooth start in Germany, meaning taking care of accommodation, bank accounts, and also jobs in 2020. So that's what we do.
Good to know.
Hi, I'm Andreas. I'm the founder of Visa Right. Visa Right is a digital legal tech platform helping people to get the visa to Germany. We are not a relocation company. We are focusing on visa, helping to get different types of visa. There are about 80 different visa types that you could get to Germany. And we have developed a platform where we guide step by step the applicants to get the visa the most convenient way.
Yeah, hi, my name is Lisa. I'm the co-founder of Localize. We also developed a platform, also regarding visa and relocation. We basically want to simplify the whole relocation process. So visa is included, health insurance is included. We're actually working together, but also flat search, for example. Opening a bank account, like how to get the tax ID, stuff like that. So we basically try to streamline the whole relocation process, not only one part of it. And my background is actually HR, so I work for a big gaming company in Hamburg, and I basically built up the relocation management unit there. So I think I know almost every answer to questions regarding visa and relocation, and that's also why the team calls me Visa Lisa. That's my name. And
Yeah. Call you guys as well.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, actually today's topic is about an increasing trend, or let's say a movement, of people who not only want to travel but actually move to another country. So why not starting by giving a little bit of a background where we are actually coming from, and why also this topic is so important for us to address here in this panel.
So maybe I start. We started with taking care of students, because students have some certain visa hurdles, but what we've seen in the entire process is what employees, skilled workers that Germany desperately need are also facing when they are abroad. So in terms of the momentum we have in Germany at the moment, I think it's super important not to only have new labor laws, the new Immigration Act, but to also have certain developments in place to really ease the process and not only the law. So that's why I think it's super important at the moment to not only have the government working on that, but also us as startups or partially governmental institutions.
But I also think that relocation is not a new topic, but I think it's a lot of agencies are existing who did that the really old-fashioned way the last, I don't know, 30 years, whatever. So I think right now, you also talked about the momentum, and I agree, because I think many other industries are digitized already, but I think for the relocation industry, it's like coming now, and I think that's why it's like getting really interesting also for the upcoming years.
Yeah, and why would you say, like, also in Germany, I mean, when I think about all the migration debates, which you can't read anymore, it's like, okay, I open a newspaper, and it's like, okay, again. Yeah, so why do you think also, like, for Germany, do we have, like, a particular situation where you think it's especially important to address this topic, also thinking about lack of maybe skilled workers in certain areas?
Perhaps my experience in Berlin is that it is completely separated. So I think there is a migration debate and there is a talent debate. And
people don't talk with each other.
yeah, so in Berlin we have like two places. There is a welcome center for migrants, and we have like the Business Immigration Service and the Chamber of Commerce, and we never get into discussions among us because it's really separated. So once a year we're just exchanging, we're doing the same kind of business, we're just trying to promote Berlin. They are doing like assistance, support for migrants. We do it for those talents with an employment degree or an employment contract, and these are coming to different doors, and they do not meet each other in that sense. I have been in Copenhagen. In Copenhagen there is like an international house, and there's one place where all the newcomers are coming in, and they have the same kind of services. Some need more services, some need less services, but it's one place. In Berlin we have like two places, and from my experience that the public debate on the migrants is one thing, the debate for the lack of talent is another, but this is then more on this Friedrichshain-Kreuzberg hipster scene. So this is a different one, I think, and this is not that negative as it is, for example, for migrants. So it's really a separate community and area. It's not that bad for the discussion to bring talents in, but I would prefer to have a welcome attitude which includes us all.
And I mean, now you're talking about Berlin, but we also support employees who are coming to Munich, to Hamburg. And to be honest, that's another topic. So Berlin is actually doing pretty well, I have to say. But in Munich, it's like everything is in German, fonts are in German, appointments will be held in German. So it's like really hard to just like go to appointments there. And I think it's like in the other cities, it's probably not better. So I really have to say that Berlin is like one step forward. Yeah, but the other cities could maybe join.
But do you also like work on like joint initiatives, like not only in Berlin, but also for the other cities within Germany?
Yeah, but it's really hard because you have to talk like to everyone separately, and of course we have like good connections to the Welcome Center in Hamburg, then we have the people in Berlin, then we're talking to the people in Munich, so it's like
several steps in between.
It's a little bit complicated.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why we are here today is like we all know probably that there is a problem, like how the situation is right now. But maybe just to get everyone on the same page, could you elaborate a bit more on how the process for expats actually looks like when they want to come to Germany? What steps do they have to follow?
It's actually a very difficult process. There are different steps that you have to be taken, and it starts with a visa application, and actually it starts with a visa appointment, which is quite difficult to get. For example, I can tell you some examples. In Nigeria, you have to wait 1.5 years to get an appointment as a highly qualified, skilled software developer. And in other countries like Philippines, 6 months, and 9 months in India, and so forth and so on. Then of course you have to prepare all the paperwork. And then
what are the requirements, for example?
It depends on the visa type. So what we have done is like we have a visa. Our core product is Visa, and we have developed an algorithm where we can, before the applicants go to the embassy, where we just check the requirements if they are fulfilled or not. And if you're lucky, then you will get your visa after a couple of months, and then you come to Germany and have to register your residence registration. and then you apply for the residence permit and so forth and so on. So there are a lot of work to do, a lot of paperwork, a lot of forms have to be filled out. And in German,
You said there are 80 types of visas, right?
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but the forms are in German, like you need to get a health insurance, you need to open a bank account, you need to find a flat, then you need to get all these like numbers, social security number, tax ID, where do you get that from? So then you need to find friends. Yeah, it's true.
So when you talk about the entire process of coming to Germany, I think it's even one step before going to the embassy, not getting the appointment, waiting for 1.5 years, and then deciding to go to Canada, which is actually the decision of moving abroad in the head of the future expatriate. And those antecedents of moving somewhere else are quite interesting to understand, because some people are scared of foreign languages, which is not English. And okay, in Berlin, that's fine. But even Jens Spahn said that you can only order a coffee in Kreuzberg in English. But I said, like, the entire process of attracting talent to Germany and getting 400,000 people a year of skilled workers from different fields is something that starts way before going to the visa appointment. And when you decide to go to Germany with a new job seeker visa or the existing laws in place, and you decide to move here and you get your papers approved because you're coming from Pakistan and you're highly skilled in medicine, and you're waiting for, I don't know, one year, because Islamabad is also taking all the people from Baghdad and Kabul and so on, because the embassies are closed, then they decide to go to, I don't know, another country, maybe Canada.
We already had some applicants who were waiting for the appointment and just quit their job in India, for example, and then they couldn't afford anymore like the life, because they're waiting and there was no appointment, and then they just decided to go to another European country where the process is much faster and convenient.
But I also think that the topic of the integration is really important, because like for my last employer, I also had some situations where people actually left Germany after like a couple of weeks or a couple of months because they basically not felt at home here. So sometimes it was even like the family did not feel at home here. And that's why we also started with like spouses breakfasts, for example, that they just like talk to each other and get to know each other, because that's also really important. And I also think that like the integration is sometimes not as easy as one might think, because like now it's getting cold here and no one is outside. No, seriously, that's like Indian people, or also people from these countries. Yeah, Brazil, it's the same. We also have one employee from Brazil, and he's like, I love the winter. And I was just like, yeah.
You can't go to the Christmas market every day, right?
Let's talk in 3 months, because it's his first winter, and he's actually going to Brazil tomorrow. So yeah, but I think this is also something which is like really important, because getting the people here, of course, is a topic, but it's also really important that they just like stay here and really feel at home.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, the company should take care of, of that.
And the question, it's more of the society. I think the onboarding is a task for the company, but the onboarding in the city is more or less perhaps a society thing. In Berlin, I sometimes have the feeling that there is like an expat community which is completely in itself, and they are separated from those Germans. And I would say you have to mingle, which is hard. So the Brazilians have their own base, the Indians have, and to break that up. But I totally agree on Andreas. I think Germany is still seen as a very secure, stable country with a very good education system, with a very good health insurance system, which is sort of attractive. But when it comes to the point that they really have to think about, I'm starting the relocation. We have set up like a dual career service, because it's not only the applicant itself, it's his family, whatever. Then if that process is not working, then they decide perhaps in different places where it's perhaps then easier for them to get access to companies.
What is actually then the role of the company? So when my employee, when I get another expert to my country, like what do they do and what like processes do you take over as a startup now? Or are they actually not really integrated into the whole relocation process?
Like for us, for example, of course we take care of the visa process and also of all the other topics I mentioned, but we also, for example, have an explore section where you can basically look, okay, what can I do in Hamburg, for example, so visit the Elbphilharmonie or the Alster, so these typical things, but just that they get to know the city a little bit better. We also have like descriptions to the different neighborhoods and just like included some apps which might be helpful, like Too Good To Go or the Regenradar, really important for Hamburg, I have to say. So this is something we also do, but I think it's also like really depending on the company, because I know that you can do a lot internally. I mean, you can like set up a buddy system where people just like take care of that new employee. Maybe they're even coming from the same country, then they face the same challenges.
But do you like work with companies, for example, and also like tell them strategies how they can integrate employees better in their company, or?
I do, but it's like more like from a personal perspective, because I think my last employer did that pretty well, I have to say. So like I basically know what's good and what's working and what's maybe not so good, and that's what I also tell our customers, because we're working also together with Westwing, for example, in Munich, and they were actually asking me that because they have like many spouses who are actually really unhappy in Germany, and they were just like, yeah, our developers are thinking about quitting the jobs and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, just bring the spouses together, and then they're having breakfast and are happy, and this is something I just share with our customers, but it's like more like a personal thing.
Yeah, you said that like the in-person contact is also very important. So how do you like stress that, like with the experts you are like working? Do you also like meet with them in person, or how's communication with the experts from your startups?
So talking about scalability, it's mostly with our chatbot. So this is not what at least Expatrio is focusing on. Of course, we have a personal contact when it comes to the entire process and the services we are offering. But it is ending exactly on the point when the people are moving to Germany, finding their flat, and activating their products with us. We're talking about the entire value chain or customer journey. Of course, we thought of integrating into that. So we founded a non-profit company which is taking care more of the topic of integration, employability, getting a network which is not only in your university with your Chinese friends, but in different cities, in different universities, from different backgrounds and different professions or courses of study. But to integrate that also in the university life, where a lot of skilled people are coming from, is something, we will come to the challenges later, I think, which is something where with Expatrio we didn't have any success, because no one wanted to talk to us, because it's like a governmental institution and a for-profit startup. So that was quite difficult as well. But before complaining, we just started to do something else, which is this non-profit organization, which helps especially for the students, where 70% of them want to stay in Germany, actually 20% according to DAAD are staying here, so we lose 50% of potential skilled workers that are highly needed. For the employees, we have collaboration with Deutschland Stiftung Integration, so the German Foundation of Integration, led by Christian Wulff, the former president. They are doing quite well, but for 100 people getting a scholarship, not for 1 million people being here as skilled workers. So, very important topic, not part of our business.
I'm always trying to convince the government to step into that deeper. So I know that from Copenhagen, they have a prince. Unfortunately, we do not have a prince in Berlin. And he gives once a year a welcome reception to every newcomer. So this is a very big reception. They have the opportunity to talk to the prince. This is very basic. And follow from that, they have like these welcome evenings for spouses and so on. So they're offering from the governmental side opportunities so that those people can get in contact, network, and I think feel more familiar with the city. Here in Berlin, we are offering like a welcome tour, but this is only once. We have tried to set up a welcome day this year, but to convince the mayor of Berlin to host as a Schirmherr this kind of an event, just to give them a welcome hand in the thing. Yeah, we are welcome here in Berlin. Is so hard because the perception is there are so many people coming from Berlin. It works anyhow. This is wrong from my perspective because there are different cities and they're doing like competitive welcome services. So and the job opportunities for all those people, they are as competitive in Lisbon or in London or elsewhere, and then the people will relocate to the next place if they feel not at home. So I would like to have the government more involved, but it's so hard to make them aware that they have really to take an official role in this integration.
But they have to because we want to attract those talents. So the government wants
Now
to
the discussion starts.
there's a new law on skilled immigration, but there is no law or no big initiative on integration. So that just don't fit.
Are there any actually laws that are like facilitating the whole process?
There is a new Fachkräfteeinwanderungsgesetz.
That's such a nice word.
Fachkräfteeinwanderungsgesetz, which is coming into force on the 1st of March next year. There is something like a speed application process. We are discussing with the local immigration authorities what that means, other than to pay 411 euros for the kind of service, which I think will not work. So they have an idea, and we have the topic of digital business. In the end, the idea is that the local authorities produce a paper which is sent by postal way to the applicant abroad. And with this German letter, he is going to the embassy. So this is nothing digital at all. It's a weird idea on how relocation worldwide will work, and we are very scared that it will not work out anyhow. But it's so hard to talk to find a workaround by the law. So the law sounds quite nice, but actually I think we are not only having 80 types of visa, it's 140 types of visa we will have further on, which makes it even more complicated to find out the right way, and it will not speed up the process. I'm very skeptical.
And maybe Burkhard, you can like also elaborate a bit on like your specific role now at Berlin Partners. And I also know that you are like working together with like with Expedia or like with all of you. Like how does the collaboration look like?
So from an immigration perspective, I think there are like really straightforward cases. So we have the blue card. The blue card, if you fulfill all the requirements, is a quite easy process actually, if you don't have to wait for your appointment that long. So I think this is straightforward. What we very often have to do is we have to translate things which are not in the law. So very often it's, my picture is, there are black and white cases. So the blue card is like a black case, and there are others. The reality is very often a gray case. Remote working, esports, whatever kind of new kind of employment, which is definitely not in the new immigration law. So we are still focusing on the traditional way how to reach out an employment contract, and we try to explain to the government and to the administration what does that mean if there is a representative of a startup from US here sitting. What is that? Does that mean if somebody is taking in an accelerator course? What is an accelerator course? What is a esports person doing? What is a data scientist? So this is a role we have, so to say, we try to translate reality into the law and find solutions on that, together then with the partners to make it smoother, because And this is in the end still the German way. I always say we are a paper administration. We love to have papers. If the paper is looking fine and when there is a formal qualification, you have a university degree, everything is fine. If you don't have it, it becomes weird. This is
original papers.
Original papers with a stamp on it. Very often apostille translation. So to find a way behind that official way, because this is taking way too long. Perhaps one example where I really was surprised because I never thought about it. There was one startup coming from India, and he would like to bring his spouse and his 2 children, and then the local immigration authority, we have to check whether these children are really his children. It's a matter of filing documents. But what I figured out is they sent a lawyer to the village or the place where he's living and asking the neighbors and so on, is that really the children of this applicant, which takes half a year. I don't know what with the German administration paying this lawyer to do that kind of job, and never expected this kind of weird. It might be the case that in 1 out of 1,000 cases they bring in the wrong child. Might be, but to make this, so to say, a bad case to a normal case, and then to follow on every single case on that. This is where our role is in, where we try to make it easier for companies, applicants, and to the administration to find a solution and not the problem.
But to be honest, this is not only like one bad example, because we're having that really often, especially like from India and Pakistan, also like for marriages, for example, they really go to the villages and then ask if the people are really married. They have to show like a photo of the actual marriage and stuff like that. So, and you're sitting here in Germany talking to the employer and be like, yeah, I'm really sorry, but that's how they do it. So yeah, we're having that like pretty often from these countries.
Okay.
Yeah. But like talking about this collaboration that you have, like also trying to be a bit positive, what would you say like till now, what were like major achievements from this collaboration, like between like startups and the government? Are there any questions?
No, it's like, I think in Berlin, I really have to say that it's not that bad, because I really made like worse experiences in other cities, but still I think like also if you like look on that topic from like a tech perspective, you know, like okay, you can automate this, you can automate that, this can be simplified by this. Sometimes I'm even surprised when I talk about something, because I'll be like, oh wow, I didn't know that that's possible. So I think there are like so many ways. I know myself how to like speed up the process to make it easier, to only work like with digital documents, for example, not sending letters to India, whatever. So there are like really many things you can simplify and also accelerate. But I think it's just like for you guys, it just takes like a really long time. And yeah, I think that's really sad.
I mean, Berlin is the first city which the Ausland that they heard in Berlin, actually the BIS, is the first city which accepting application via email.
Yeah.
Woo!
This is digital revolution.
You don't have it in Munich, not in Hamburg, not in Frankfurt, but in Berlin you can apply via email. That's achievement.
So like our collaboration with the government, now that I have to think about it, is actually quite good. So I just came from Bonn, where I was invited on a discussion about student mobility in Germany and in Europe. And I tend to say that the government is very open when you really have a position in the market. So we are in the market now for 2.5 years. So people start to get to know us, so also from the government. So we are sometimes invited for a coffee, not official, to talk about how we can help. So this is the first step. And I must say, for this very special product of our blocked account, to show that if someone has some money for moving to Germany, so like covering the financial means, it took us not too long, I'd say 6 months, to get this approved by the German Federal Foreign Office, which is also a very big institution, and getting the contact to all the German missions abroad, which is like embassies and the consulates. So I must say this was really good, and the contact is really close. So it's one special department of the German Federal Foreign Office. On the other hand, there are some inefficiencies when it comes to the acceptance of different health insurances in Germany. So you have very cheap products that are sufficient for coming to Germany, but they are not sufficient for getting your permit of staying to stay in Germany. So, but the embassy approves it for coming to Germany, but not for staying in Germany, which doesn't make sense in my opinion. So they are working on it. I heard for 10 years now. So that's a bit difficult, and we as a service provider, when we reach out to the government, first of all, they don't want to talk to us, but we have some resistance, so we are a bit annoying, so they talk to us.
Always the best way.
So yeah, just be a government. Then you sometimes get an answer which is not clear. Like talking to the tax advisor, you get like 3 different opinions at the same time. So it's quite challenging for us to understand it, but we do it on a daily basis. And just in the head of someone coming here as a skilled worker or an international student, I think they are just confused, and it doesn't make the country more attractive to move here.
That's right. Just like sticking a bit to the insurance point, like I think you also have collaboration with like new like insurtech startups, right? Also, or how do you try to solve this, like for the insurance?
I would call ourselves insurtech, fintech, governmental tech, whatever tech, not deep tech startup. So we have integrations with the different providers, which is quite unique. For example, for Germany's largest health insurance, public health insurance, Techniker Krankenkasse, we have an API integration, which is not too common out there.
What does that mean?
So we haven't. So usually you hand in your application for a health insurance on a fax machine,
Okay.
or you scan it and then you send it via email, or you go to a local branch and you fill it in, and then they send it to the center, and then you have people typing it in. The OCR technology doesn't work. So we skipped that. It took us some time, but we are quite happy actually that we integrated with the largest health insurance in Germany, which is one little step to make it a bit more easy. And we are also working with other insurance providers when it comes to liability insurance, which is important, household insurance, but also the travel health insurance for coming here to fulfill the visa requirements. Everything is tech-based, therefore scalable for the high number of people coming here. And so that's what we can do. But we also talked about like talking to the Federal Foreign Office and present them the papers in a digital way, have an integration or at least an email address where we can send it to. And this is quite complicated, and this brings us back to inefficiencies, because many of our confirmations that we are sending out for the blocked account for the health insurance, they are getting faked abroad. Just imagine you need to deposit €10,500 for 1 year when you come without an employment contract to Germany, be it as a student, language student, proprietary courses, so Studienkolleg, and the new immigration law, so job seeker visa. So you need to deposit €10,500 for 12 months, for the job seeker visa, then half of it. Those confirmations are getting faked quite often, because it's sometimes difficult to present this money. So we have a lock-in portal for the government where they can verify it. And I think it has actually been used once or twice. So we offered sending all the confirmations to the respective consulate, but we didn't find any interest in it. So this is the sad thing. So we can integrate with like Techniker Krankenkasse, which is a partially governmental, I don't know what the status exactly is,
Great
public.
So whatever, non-governmental. And of course with the for-profit providers, also with for-profit tech providers of liability insurance, household insurance, and so on. That's not a problem. But integrating with the government is difficult, even though it would be so easy for you as well and for all of us.
I think this is a good point because right now we stuck with too many applications, and the answer of the Ausländerbehörde Immigration Authority is to ask for more officers, persons issuing those cases. This is the wrong idea. You have to make the process different, and you can use digital services, and then you can say complete change of the process. If you have the opportunity to have digital application forms, digital kind of information, then it is so easier because you know whatever the passport is valid, the university degree, the health insurance, you can check that all, so to say, digital, and then it shortens the whole process. But this is not the way the government is thinking. The government is still thinking on their paper process, and then partially they have an email address that you can send in a PDF, or you just can fill out online a PDF formula, which is not a digital version of a process. But this is so hard for them to rethink the whole process for relocation and to see what all kind of digital solutions make the whole process easier, shorter, and you should say, rethink the whole process. This is where there is, in the moment, I don't see any kind of solution or team developing such kind of processes. It's just their paper process, how to cope with that.
But I think this is like not only a problem from the government, but also from many like companies in Germany, because what we do, like we partner together, like with you guys, for example, for health insurance. You explained that already. We also partner with other health insurances, but we also partner with banks, for example. And for N26, it works like pretty well. They can sign up, and everything's like done online. So that's
not
like
for all nationalities.
I know, but it's like something because when you talk to the bigger banks in Germany, for example, sometimes it takes them like 3 months to provide a logo for our software, you know. So it's like it's not only the government; it's also like, yeah.
Depending on the size of the company.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is that the government just don't care. They have a monopoly on the services, and they just don't care about the customers. They don't care about user experience, about customer support. They always will have the customers which don't have another choice to go to someone else. So we cannot issue a visa. We can guide you through the process, but on the end you have to go to the government, and they just don't care about if you got refused or it takes so long. They just doesn't matter for them.
That's the problem. I also tend to, I completely agree, but slightly not. Because we've been in contact with certain embassies that are super eager to offer a good service of people, of relocating skilled workers / students to Germany. So it really depends on who is running the embassy or the consulate.
Yeah.
Of course, it will never be as when I moved to Singapore and I was offered a coffee in the Ministry of Manpower when I got my visa. I was quite shocked. So I thought it was like poison to a soul. Send me back. You're coming there and you're getting a coffee. Let's think about that to operate in Germany or in the consulate or embassy as well. But it's what you said, it's attracting, and they have a monopoly on that. But they don't have a monopoly of getting talent into one country. It's like we are in competition in the entire world about those skilled talents.
But like thinking on the government, and as we said, like there are some like really good steps or initiatives that the government also supported. So what would you say, like how can we like improve this process? Because Burkhard, you also said it's not about like the manpower or that kind, it's also about the efficiencies within the process. So could there be also like startups, for example, I know, like supporting this process like in person at the government, or what would you say what do you want to see in this whole process?
Yeah, my recommendation for the Berlin government is always not to reinvent reinvent the wheel and try to make solutions on their own, have to go to the market to work together with startups offering that kind of service and see how you can adopt it to the governmental services, just to make an API, whatever, Schnittstelle, to make it easier, because I just checked it for that discussion. There is a service portal in Berlin, and I think they are offering now 8 types of digital services, which is on register a trade as a Gewerbeanmeldung. I think you can register something like to be a Versicherungsmakler, so things which are very important for Berlin. But the main services, the priority list is looking for 2025, something like that. So they do not have the resources to build up those kind of services on their own. So I would sort of really recommend to work together with those private service providers and see how you can adopt. That would be pretty much easier. But this is in the sense of like public-private partnerships, whatever. Right now they're just thinking we are the government, we have to set up our own services and data protection, whatever the reason is for that. Then it takes years.
So I think insurance brokers are quite important. And there are different hurdles when it comes to that from a regulatory perspective. Yeah, as you said, like public-private partnerships is something which is not quite developed. So we are approaching a lot of, I said, like governments, institutions, and so on. Response rate is low, and it has always to do with different ministries in Germany. So like education and science, BAM, BMP, and all those different ministries, because they all want to get the people from the board. But I said, like, we are getting little response, and that's quite bad for us, because when you get some access and when you get into the talks, then as for the Federal Foreign Office, which is really working well, it's easy to develop things with them for certain services. So I said, public-private partnerships are important, but it also I would also agree to the startup and corporate partnerships. So sometimes I feel like there is no real difference. It's just slow.
Do we already have like a good example for like a well-working, like company, corporate startup partnership in that field of relocation, for example?
I mean, there are a lot of tax startups, so you can fill out your tax. It's like Steuererklärung, your
Tax declaration.
tax declaration online, and with the private startup, and they're gonna put the data to the government. So yeah.
And apart from like, because we addressed a lot of the topic of the government and also from the startups, maybe like other like thinking of something else, like also a mindset thing, mindset shift within also the German culture. What do you think like needs to be done to like raise more awareness generally for this topic?
I think it's big in the news already. That
Everyone is talking about
we
it.
need skilled workers in Germany in like every sense. I think the most prominent topic is potentially nursing. But everyone says, even my grandma, they have lack of talent, or generally lack of people. So yeah. So I think in that sense there is already an awareness for this topic.
It's just a process that is very slowly.
Yeah, but there's just not the solution, and that's I think what people see. That.
But one question, for example, would be when it comes for landlords in Germany, and they have the choice to either take in a Brazilian or a German Beamter to give out the rental contract. I guess in 99% the German Beamter will get the flat and not the Brazilian engineer. And this is a matter of mindset. So I don't know whether you have any experience on that. So.
And maybe to address also like the people here, like people who want to get more involved in the whole relocation movement. Like, do you have any recommendations to them, like any departments, any organizations where they could like engage and yeah, brainstorm maybe about new ideas or something like this? Other initiatives in Berlin?
Regarding relocation, you mean?
Yeah.
It's a pretty small space, I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think like maybe also in this kind of sense there needs to be a bit more activity.
So when it comes to like bringing the people together, there are of course companies like Internations.
And also meetups.
Yeah, meetups like Internations, like organizing parties, mingling for socializing, which is super important to have the feeling to arrive somewhere. And of course, Berlin is an island when it comes to that. No one has a problem here. But I just think about cities like Herzogenaurach, where there's a lot of international companies and also an expat scene. But as you said, like those are subcultures already. I think that's a big challenge of integration. When someone really wants to do something in this regard, in Berlin I would say just go to a bar. And somewhere else, it's a mindset thing of being open and welcoming. And for a big part in Germany is watching series on Netflix in English, not in German. Because this is like one of the hurdles as well when it comes to visa. You need the German proficiency. Also for people who are building space shuttles, the German level has to be high to come to Germany, which doesn't make sense, or like an IT person.
Not for the blue card. You have to have any German skills for the blue card.
Yeah, but just for the blue card. But there are like 100, like 79 other visa types, or according to you, 119 different visa types, and that's a big thing we are facing, that people need the German language at least on an A to B1 level. So when it comes to the society and integrating, I think it would be good to lower this a bit and to force the society also to be a bit better and open in the English language to be able to communicate. Mindset.
Okay, so one final question before I open the floor for the Q&A. You already like talked a bit about it, but like generally, where do you see like this whole industry in the next 5 years, or what is like, if you want to, if you have one wish, how this future of relocation could be in the next 5 years, what would that be?
I wish like we would have applicants who can just log in somewhere in the app and decide, okay, I would like to go to Germany, and just put some data in the app, and they will get the visa or whatever on the phone like a couple of minutes later, and they can just travel to Germany and just live here. Don't spend a lot of weeks and months on filling out crazy paper forms. Yeah, that's my dream.
My wish is also like that everyone can move from one country to another without like
Without any visa.
without any visa. That's maybe a little bit too much, but without 1 year waiting time.
And in Singapore, you get your visa like via email. There's a QR code, and then you travel like you just put your QR code,
And you get a coffee.
Let's move to Singapore.
That's the outcome of the panel, right?
No, but in general, that's something you said. This should be the case because it's so easy. Like someone sitting in an embassy is doing the same thing 100 times a day. So of course you can automate it to a certain degree. There will always be edge cases, but like for, again, coming from the student perspective, it's always the same. They have the place to study. They know where they are going. They are paying 10,500 or 10,200 something euro into the doctor account, they need the health insurance, they have everything digitally. Why not offering a solution which is completely integrated? And then for the skilled workers as well, having the possibility to accept the education they received in their home country is also a big point. Like accepting that, understanding and then accepting it is a big thing. So like for the next 5 years, easing the digital process, and in the next 10 years, reducing borders. So that should be.
It's Christmas, so time for wishes as well.
I would just add, sometimes it's the mindset behind. So if you have all those technical solutions, it's easy. But doing that kind of business a little bit longer, I know that the immigration authorities, looking on different parties, Parteien, there are still communities in Germany which say a good Ausländerbehörde, eine gute Ausländerbehörde is administration blocking migration, keep those guys outside, be that filter in that sense. So to say, the other view on that is make it as easy as possible to bring as much people as possible to Germany, which the other side was, okay, there are so many wrong people coming and doing, so to say, or living on social welfare, unemployment money, and doing bad things. So this is a kind of a mindset. So if those immigration authorities, if those consulates know we are not blamed for not blocking, but bringing in all those queues is fine, and we are, so to say, always thinking on the solution or not on the problem, makes it easier for them. So sometimes I feel that they are unsure whether they are on this positive side, bringing the immigration, or whether they are on that we keep them out of Germany and make Germany still a safe place. So this is a complete mindset behind those persons.
Yeah. So the outcome of this panel is definitely 1 hour is not enough. But yeah, I also want to give you the opportunity to raise some questions. We don't have a mic, so just stand up, say your name, and yeah, ask your question. Yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot for your points. One comment and one question. One comment is that I think it was a little, like, you have a lot of suggestions on how to improve the system. Just wanted to point out that it's probably not the worst in the world, and I've seen it worse, right? So some things are working, and I personally was pretty happy with this last year. The question is, so before you start, let's say if you compare yourselves before you started working in this industry and after, if you now wanted to go and live somewhere else, what is the one thing, like the top one thing that you would do differently? Let's say based on your experience working with people who immigrate constantly. Is my question, isn't it?
What we would do differently when we would move somewhere, or?
Yeah, like if you were to move somewhere, based on your experience working with other people constantly, right, that move somewhere, what would you do differently, kind of compared to what you thought before? Or like,
I think depends where you go.
Exactly.
Depending on the country. If you go to Singapore, again, like everything is clear and not bureaucratic. If you go, I don't know, depending on the country. I would suggest, or I would consider to hire maybe companies like us. We are cheap, affordable, not cheap, we are affordable, and take care of your journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think like also expectation management is a really big topic, I have to say, because this is like what many times can go wrong, because it's like sometimes people come here, they don't know about brutto and netto, so and then they're like, oh, what's wrong with my salary? So I think like these are things you really have to make sure that they understand what living in Germany means, what the rent is, for example, and I think this is something I would inform myself about.
Thank you.
Sorry, can I ask a question? Unfortunately, I have to leave now, but just I'll stay for your answer.
Okay.
I was just looking at some of the documentation you have up here. There was one of the display panels there says that there are 14 digital IT sector in Berlin, but there was another publication that said it's 80,000. I'm just wondering how many people are actually working in the IT scene in Berlin according to the general consensus amongst you, and as a result of that, how many people need to be added to the industry each year? So what's the immigration contribution that needs to take place?
As far as I know, it's more the 80,000. But for example, to make it very clear, is Amazon a digital business or not? So is it just, so if you include all those companies in digital business, then we are on this 80,000. I think the IBB, the investment bank, just brought out a new study on digital business, which came out last month. I think every fifth job in the city is now created in the digital business, and we are expecting to have a talent gap of 40,000, 50,000 persons needed here in Berlin to fill in all those open positions and to grow the scene steadily. So there is really a urgent need for talent influx.
Thank you very much. Quoting my former boss in Lisando, we need more.
Other questions? Yeah.
How many expats in total are in Berlin, do you guys know? From which region do they come the most?
We always have to difference between people coming from Europe and outside Europe. In Europe, it's in the moment mostly from Poland, Bulgaria, as far as I know, and this is more on this nursery, not that high qualified scene. If we talk about non-European talent, it's mostly from US. It's by far number one. Then it's India, China, and Russia. And surprisingly, it's Brazil and number fifth. So a lot of talent coming from. The total numbers I'm not quite sure, but when you just have a look on the last years, the net migration within the last year was about 45,000 persons coming to Berlin. 2/3 of them coming from abroad, and mostly young persons below 30. So a lot of students, graduates, persons. So when you sort of say count it completely, there were more people coming from abroad to the city than leaving the city. So in total, I think it was last year 30,000 people net migration, and the foreign people grow by 31,000. So as a statistical effect, so this is really people coming from abroad to Berlin. I don't know the exact total number in the moment. Nobody knows? But I think we have a new record on the students this year, so I don't know, whatever, 20% of the students are from abroad, so it's really rising, still rising.
Any other questions? Yeah.
So I understood that politics could be involved as far as pushing into that direction you are discussing. Have you tried either with the political parties or as a union of all such companies to contact some of the parties to contribute in that direction?
Not all together, but I think
You did.
And would that be a solution?
maybe all together. Yeah, I sent like a couple of days ago, by the beginning of this week, I sent those kind of letter to Angela Merkel, and there was like 40 recipients, also the German media and some politicians, complaining myself that the waiting times for the appointment was so long. Like we had a developer who was able to start like any day in Germany, and due to the waiting time, the employer just canceled the contract. So I was so upset, and I wrote this email to Angela Merkel. You can guess how many answers I got.
Zero.
But I think it's a good idea because we actually we know each other, but we met the first time. So I think it's like a really small space, but I think it's like it's a good approach.
And if there are also some companies who they're looking not only for one employee, but for a large number, they can push a lot more. They have also the political power to push with their Verbände.
Yeah.
I would think that's a great idea. I always try to push that, to have the bigger companies here which are now scaling and have the CEOs, whatever, or persons in charge of HR to bring on one table. And on the government level, I would like to have this, I always call it CTO, the Chief Talent Officer by the government, who is really in charge of getting the contact with the companies and see what kind of needs there are. Honestly, it's hard to bring all those startups together. I think they always find solutions around and do not have the time to talk to governments because recruiting is such a speedy process. But for a strategy level, I think it was really a good idea to have this talent table on a very high political level together, whatever, with the mayor or at least the Senate for Economic Affairs, to put those things we discuss on the table and see what kind of solutions or priority setting I mentioned. So we have some digital services, but I think the wrong one, not the main important one. So to bring kind of services we need on a high, very priority level to have that realized within 1 year.
That's what I referred to before. It's bringing the people to the table is the most difficult part. When you sit at the table, you're coming up with a lot of ideas and sometimes also with implementations. But getting there takes ages. So today in Bonn, the next meeting will be in 6 months, which is like in between you build a completely new startup.
Yeah, true.
Can I refer to your question? Because I work for SWV, which is a representation of this company, which are digital business, and we work closely with Berlin Partner. I must say that the talent services of Berlin are doing a great job. But it's a federal republic, so we are actually in this lucky situation that we have Berlin Partner, but on the other hand, we have the Berlin administration, and that is actually depending on the federal compliance rules. So, as an association of 250 companies, we're actually writing quite a lot of comments about the lacking manpower of the IT and digital business companies. It has been actually solved in a couple of tasks, but the thing is also that in Berlin you have different bezirks, which are different regions, and that doesn't make any coordination of this stuff easy, because it's like this city consists of 16 different cities, and then there's a local government of that. And one more part is actually that there is immigration, which is about the employees. They actually get the manpower in different areas much quicker. And then the other part, what is actually very interesting, like when people would like to come to Germany and set up their business and just set up their startup and company, that's actually much harder sometimes for them. So it's quite easy to find a job to be an employer, because Berlin Partner can actually help them quite a lot with these services, and it goes through a fast track. And me being a foreigner here in Berlin for 16 years, I can say it's done properly. But setting up your business, you need quite a lot of time and bureaucracy just to do that. So that would be another task we could actually help experts in Berlin to sort out that issue.
I was talking more about a federal level of politics, so not local.
They don't listen to small startups. If you would like, as an Amazon, you would approach to them, maybe you will get a huge, for sure get an answer. But if you're like a small startup, as we are right now, you get no answer, unfortunately.
And I think also for us, it's sometimes also really hard to get in touch with the corporate. So it's basically like the same thing. So of course we could like do something together, but I think for us it's like really hard also to approach the corporates who then have the power to maybe do something on that.
You have to include the Deutsche Bank,
Yeah, for example.
for example.
That's
What
even
has
Okay.
But also when Tesla is moving to
That is the those things.
this, like also from a political background, I think there was a lot of negotiating. So whenever Elon Musk did the call, someone else for him, I think things moved really fast. Yeah. So that's exactly what you say. That we don't have any power to the government.
Final questions?
As you are talking about the students, so lots of students coming to Germany for education. So I'm talking about the accommodation. What you are doing, guys, for the accommodation, providing accommodation for students, because it's very difficult to find budget accommodation for students nowadays in Germany. So do you have, guys, any new ideas to find accommodation for students or something?
So the thing is, we can't build new houses. We spend all our money on the development. No, it's basically the demand is high, the supply is low. But getting the access with our help is maybe easing it a bit. Still, there are no new buildings being built just because we integrate something digitally. But what we do at the moment is when someone is studying in, I just said Herzogenaurach, we have aggregators offering student housing, and we are directly offering that. So we skip one step of accessibility to this accommodation, but we can't solve e-supply. You can just ease finding something in the city where you are moving, which is already eased by aggregators out there, Immobilien Scout and so on. But there are also some platforms, again a platform, offering that especially for students, like WG gesucht, something you wouldn't find directly from abroad. So we integrated that, so we are offering whatever is available in Herzogenaurach. That's not so much probably, but we are offering. I just talked about it today a lot, not only in Europe, also in Bonn. Big topic, big expat scene over there. But yeah, I said we can just try to ease the process, but we can't build student houses ourselves. Not yet.
Yeah. So if there are no further questions, and I know the pizza is coming, I want to say a big thank you for your questions, big thank you to all of you for your insights. It was very interesting, so applause for yeah, for the evening planning. So we have beer, we have wine, we have pizza now.